really need a blanket, huh? I don't need a blanket. Hey, I can get a carpet for you. We can do something.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most nerve-shredding shark attacks ever put on screen. Beware of spoilers. Number 30, Dennis's Reckoning, Shark Night. More than the sharks, Dennis and his crew are the real villains in this flick. Inspired by a documentary, these twisted guys lure people to shark-infested waters just to record their gruesome end.
Where's Nick?
So that's your type now? But he's a good listener.
Where is he?
He's playing with the sheriff.
Why are you doing this, Dennis?
Dennis eventually gets what's coming for him. In the final act, he tries to feed Sarah to a great white shark, covering her in blood and lowering her into the water. Nick intervenes, and Dennis attacks him. During the struggle, Sarah slams Dennis's head against the cage, disorienting him. The shark appears just in time as Dennis's leg gets tangled in the rope. He struggles to break free, but it's too late. His head is chopped clean by the underwater monster, bringing an end to his reign of terror. Number 29, Gourd, The Beach. This psychological adventure stars Leonardo DiCaprio as a young backpacker in Thailand who stumbles upon a seemingly perfect hidden island. However, everything unravels when this utopia starts showing its darker sides. This first crack appears when two community members go fishing and are attacked by a shark. One dies, while the other is gravely wounded. What happens next is even more disturbing. Instead of helping him, the group isolates the wounded man, fearing his screams might draw attention to them.
You can't do this. This is disgusting. Take him back.
It's a chilling shift from dream to nightmare. The scene's realism, the tension, and haunting sound force viewers to confront the fragility of utopian ideals and the darker truths of human nature. We guess there can't be any true paradise on Earth. Number 28, Plane Attack, Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus. You thought the great white shark of Jaws was fierce? Wait until you see the kind of stunts the aquatic monster in this flick pulls. Two prehistoric creatures, a giant shark and an enormous octopus, break free from a melting glacier and soon start wreaking havoc. In one of the most ridiculous sequences ever put on screen, the shark leaps out of the ocean and bites an aircraft midair. Yep, even the skies aren't safe when there are sharks with superpowers like this one. With such a wild scenario, it's no wonder the movie earned the reputation as a so bad it's so good classic. Honestly, what other shark attack can even top this? Number 27, Beach Attack, The Meg. In this film, the terror doesn't just stop with one giant shark. It increases the stakes with a massive ancient predator, an even bigger megalodon. Just when it seems the horror is over, the second Meg shows up and devours the first Meg like a snack. This scene flips the entire movie on its head and sets the stage for one of the film's most chaotic scenes. This gigantic Meg makes its way to a bustling beach in China, turning paradise into a panic zone. There's humor and suspense as these clueless vacationers lounge around until one scream sets off mass hysteria. It's intense, cheesy, and yes, a clever nod to Jaws. It definitely unlocks a new fear about relaxing near the ocean. Number 26, Romance Gone Wrong, Jaws 2. Teenagers make the perfect shark bait in movies like Jaws 2. Young, carefree, and usually at the wrong place at the worst time. This setup leads us to one of the film's most traumatizing moments, a date gone wrong.
Well, here's your blanket.
Eddie and his girlfriend Tina are enjoying a quiet time away from others, unaware that beneath them lurks a nightmare with teeth. In a flash, the great white shark attacks, jolting their boat and tossing Eddie into the water. Panic takes over. Tina screams for Eddie to swim, but the ocean shows no mercy. The shark closes in fast, mauling Eddie all while Tina watches, powerless and horrified. The scene wouldn't have had that palpable impact without Ann Dusenberry's raw, heartbreaking performance.
Make it go away! Make it go away!
Number 25, Attack in the Seine, Under Paris. This thought-provoking film is no Jaws, but it serves up some seriously thrilling shark attacks. A group of researchers heads to sea to track a shark named Lilith. Big mistake. She's far more dangerous now. Frankly, terrible decisions abound in the film, especially from characters like Mika. But she's not alone. After Sophia, one researcher, petitions the mayor of Paris to postpone a triathlon, she's ignored. The event begins, swimmers flood the water, and Lilith arrives. Then, chaos erupts as swimmers become snacks for Lilith and her fellow sharks while the mayor and spectators watch in horror. It's a classic case of humans ignoring warnings and paying the price. For lovers of Jaws and all its tropes, this scene is a must-watch. Number 24, Air on the G-String, The Spy Who Loved Me. One reason you don't mess with your supervillain boss? He might just feed you to his pet shark. That's exactly what happens in this traumatizing scene.
I have instructed my assistant to have paid into your Swiss bank account the sum of $10 million each.
Carl Stromberg, the aquatic-obsessed bad guy, doesn't yell or threaten when he finds out his secretary has been leaking secrets. Nope, he plays it cool. He calmly asks her to leave, she steps into the elevator, and then, bam! He flips a switch, the floor beneath her opens, and she falls straight into a tank with a tiger shark. The chilliest part? Air on the G-String plays softly as she struggles for her life. The horrified faces of his associates summarize how we all feel about Stromberg after seeing this awful display.
Now you will pay the penalty.
Number 23, Grant's Death, 47 meters down, uncaged. In this survival horror, 4 teenage girls go scuba diving in a ruined underwater city and end up trapped and hunted by blind sharks. Things go downhill fast, but hey, good thing Dad finally comes to save the day. Grant, the experienced diver, swoops in like a hero, calmly explaining how they'll make it out alive. For a moment, we're confident he'll rescue them. Except, out of nowhere, and to our surprise, a shark emerges from underneath Grant and consumes him.
And we can survive this. Okay? Girls, I believe in you.
Just like that. Quick, savage, and brutal. His death is a gut punch, reminding us that no one's safe in these waters, not even the expert. One brutal lesson? The only way to survive this situation, don't get in the water at all. Number 22, The Drunk Man, The Shallows. Grieving her mother's death, Nancy escapes to a secluded beach, only to end up stranded on a rock and hunted by a great white shark. Enter the Drunk Man, a harsh reminder that not everyone wants to help you. Instead of assisting Nancy when she calls out to him, he decides to rob her. Then, he wades into the shallows for one last steal, unknowingly entering shark territory. What follows is a nail-biting sequence as Nancy screams to save him, but he pays her no mind. We don't need to see the full attack. The horror on Nancy's face says it all. Later, his shredded body floats back, a brutal lesson in how far greed will take you. Number 21, FitzRoyce's last act, Jaws 3D. The third Jaws film might not be a full-on nightmare like the original, but it delivers some creepy deaths, and FitzRoyce's is one of the most disturbing. This brash thrill-seeker is brought to SeaWorld to help capture a rogue shark, only to learn that Mama Shark, a monstrous 35-footer, is the real threat.
Just bet some chum. You know, fish oil and blood. Then Jeff's gonna make some metallic sounds to attract her right down into that filtration pipe.
As it tears through the park, FitzRoyce and his assistant gear up to take it out, but things go south. He ends up trapped with the shark, hoping to blow it to bits with a grenade. Too late. The shark swallows him whole in a slow, suffocating death. When the 3D monster later crashes into the control room, you can still see his corpse in its mouth. Yikes, that's grim. Number 20, The Party Boat Attack, Deep Blue Sea. This movie borrows more than a few elements from Jaws, including POV shots of a shark approaching dangling limbs from under the water. But hey, you might as well borrow from the best. In this scene, sharks target a party boat in the middle of the ocean, being especially attracted to the red wine that spills into the water. It depicts a different kind of shark, one willing to burst through the wooden floor of the boat and attack its targets from below. Luckily, no one perishes in the attack, as Carter Blake saves the day with a well-timed harpoon strike. Number 19, Swimming to the Rock, The Reef. This Australian movie taps into a primal fear, that of being stranded in the open water while bloodthirsty sharks circle below. It follows a small group of friends who capsize their boat and become hunted by a hungry great white. In the electrifying climax, the survivors desperately swim to a large rock formation while being pursued by the shark. Kate is lucky enough to climb onto the rock, but Luke has trouble finding a grip and is pulled under by the great white, much to Kate's and the audience's horror.
Pull me up! Take me! Take me! Pull me up! Pull me up!
We never thought we'd see a chase sequence in a shark movie, but The Reef certainly delivers. Number 18, Training Fail, Meg 2, The Trench. We're not experts or anything, but trying to train deadly sharks doesn't seem like the greatest idea. Just ask Jiming, who nearly becomes lunch for the massive Haiki.
I'm conducting an experiment.
Is the experiment, do I taste good?
She's a giant 80-foot Meg who is being trained by Jiming, but on this occasion, she disobeys orders and swallows Jiming whole. The visual of Haiki slowly approaching Jiming is spectacular and gives a fantastic sense of scale, with a gigantic shark dwarfing the tiny human, and a lot of good tension is mined from Haiki eating Jiming. The mere idea of an 80-foot shark rapidly swimming towards us is enough to elicit a panic attack.
That was exciting. Huh?
Number 17, The Demise of Sean Brody, Jaws the Revenge. The fourth movie in the Jaws series isn't very good, but it does contain a memorable opening sequence involving Martin Brody's son. Sean Brody is working as a police deputy and is dispatched to the open ocean for an assignment. While attempting to clear a buoy, the young deputy is pounced on by a giant great white and loses an arm. He doesn't have long to mourn his missing limb, as both he and pieces of his boat are soon devoured by the shark. It's an effective sequence, and it was sad to see Sean becoming yet another victim of the deadly waters off Amity Island. Number 16, Chased by Bruce, Finding Nemo. One of Pixar's many masterpieces, Finding Nemo has it all: heart, humor, heartbreak, and yes, horror. The latter comes via Bruce, a massive great white shark who targets Marlin and Dory. Bruce smells Dory's blood, unsealing his violent nature and sending him into a crazed frenzy.
That's good.
His pupils dilate, his face relaxes, and his jaw widens into a slasher smile. And with that, the chase is on.
I'm having fish tonight!
The scene is a whole bunch of nope, and it has probably given millions of kids around the world nightmares. One look at that malicious smile is enough to chill the blood. Come on, Bruce, remember? Fish are friends, not food.
Sorry about Loose, mate!
Number 15, taking a bite out of Mana 1, the Meg. We don't care how goofy it is. The image of giant sharks dwarfing puny people will never not be scary. This is the Meg's bread and butter, and the first movie contains an excellent example when the shark slowly approaches Mae Young from outside the glass. It's a wonderful shot, and it could have been the movie's poster. One look at it, and we're sold. Of course, this scene takes the horror several steps further, as the Meg takes a bite out of the research station and then tears a whale in half in front of the terrified scientists. Yep, we're thinking this isn't an ordinary shark.
We should explore non-lethal options first.
For the Meg or for us?
Number 14, banana and meat, Jaws the Revenge. When sharks start reaching for fruit, be worried. It's a sunny day at the beach and the Brodies are all smiles while they celebrate Carla's new sculpture. While Carla's introduction drags on, her daughter, Thea, decides to hop on a banana boat with her friend's family. Just as Carla goes to make a speech, Ellen's connection to the shark turns her attention to the water, and she spots the shark approaching the boat. With no way to stop the vengeful monster, the shark jumps out with teeth bared, pulling a mother under to a watery grave. The rest of the film might be hilariously bad, but this is one scene we can really sink our jaws into. Number 13, chasing Ariel and Flounder, the Little Mermaid. Long before finding Nemo, there was this guy. As Ariel is investigating a shipwreck, she and Flounder are pounced on by a hungry shark. You see, Ariel, this is why your dad is so protective. The shark slowly emerges behind Flounder and takes a bite, missing him by mere inches. It then chases both the fish and the mermaid around the boat, taking chunks out of the old wood in the process. The animation throughout the sequence is spectacular, and the red eyes are a wonderful little detail. Anything to make the shark that much scarier, as if it wasn't scary enough already.
You big bully!
Number 12, Marge's Death, Jaws 2. It's hard to follow a masterpiece like Jaws, but Jaws 2 does an admirable enough job. It contains a number of solid scares, like the horrible death of poor Marge. Young Sean Brody, R.I.P., is threatened by the shark, but he's saved in the nick of time by the valiant Marge. Unfortunately, this comes at the cost of her own life, as the shark swallows the teenager and drags her onto the water. The scene is plenty scary, even without the use of blood or on-screen violence. All we need is that nightmarish shot of the shark underwater and the sickening crunch as it chops on her bones. Poor Sean is probably going to have some survivor's guilt after this one.
Sean! Sean, get the rope! The rope, Sean! Come on!
Number 11, The Bloody Leg, 47 meters down. We don't know what's scarier, getting chased by a shark or getting chased by a shark while simultaneously fighting the bends and slowly bleeding out from a nasty shark bite? Probably that one.
We don't have a choice. Kate has been badly hurt. We are coming up now.
Lisa is bitten on the leg and leaves behind a trail of blood as she and Kate slowly make their way to the surface.
4.5 minutes.
We need to let another one hurry.
Unfortunately, they are forced to move slowly to avoid the bends, giving the sharks plenty of time to muster an attack. This scenario is milked for all it's worth, building an incredible amount of tension as the sharks circle the petrified and defenseless ladies. Number 10, The 4th of July, Jaws. The death of young Alex is tragic and incredibly disturbing, signifying that the shark doesn't distinguish between its victims. But the real carnage occurs on the fateful 4th of July, when the shark swarms a crowded beach full of tourists. Spielberg masterfully builds tension throughout the 10-minute sequence, with POV shots, false alarms, and an eerie quiet before popping the tension with blood and lost limbs. That shot of the shark swimming under the boater is an all-timer, eliciting a primal fear of the deep. It's no wonder this is considered one of the scariest movies ever made. Number 9, Arm Loss, Soul Surfer. The most frightening attack is the one you don't see coming.
Let's just get in the water already.
In this otherwise uplifting movie about a surfer who discovers a greater purpose in life, the road to that discovery is a shocking one. A day after winning a surfing competition, Bethany and her friends take off for some surfing. During a quick break, Bethany dangles her arm in the water when, without warning, a shark bites her arm clean off, setting the scene in full panic mode. While the tense race to shore adds to the intensity, it's the surprise that sets this one apart.
Stay with me, Bethany.
Number 8. Lighter Meal, License to Kill. Sometimes, all the money in the world isn't worth missing a good one-liner. As Bond tries to stop drug lord Franz Sanchez, a string of corruption makes his search all the harder. After almost being caught before he bribes DAA agent Killefer, Sanchez escapes and has Bond's partner, Felix Leite, tortured by being fed to sharks. Discovering the betrayal, Bond goes after Killefer with no plans of arresting him. As Killefer dangles over the same pit of sharks that Leiter was left in, Bond throws his case of bribery back at him, and instead ensures the traitor gets a brutal underwater mauling.
God.
Number 7. Cut Off, Deep Blue Sea. The initial attack where the scientist gets his arm bitten off is certainly disturbing, but offers something a little more iconic. Samuel L. Jackson is such a powerhouse that his monologues are the last place in a movie that you'd expect to get interrupted. When researchers trying to cure Alzheimer's create smarter sharks, the tables start to turn. Right as executive Russell Franklin checks in on the research, the sharks rebel and start destroying the facility. Just as everyone's panicked fighting starts to get out of hand, Franklin pulls them together with a rousing speech about the power of man and teamwork.
We're going to pull together and we're going to find a way to get out of here.
Cutting right into his close-up, a shark jumps out mid-sentence and kills Franklin, jolting everyone on screen and everyone watching the scene. Number 6. Supermarket Chomp, Bait 3D. If you're forced to choose between fighting some crabs or a shark, fight the crabs. After a group is trapped in a supermarket by a tsunami, the survivors bicker and fight before a great white carried in by the wave forces them to work together. Despite their best efforts to find ways of dealing with the shark themselves, it quickly becomes apparent they need to find help.
Ready? Let's go.
So, they lift up store manager Jessup to a vent to escape. Right as he peeks into the vent, hundreds of tiny crabs startle him and he falls back. At least it wasn't the shark, right? Moments later, though, the shark has its time to scare by jumping out and tearing Jessup in half.
I'm okay!
Number 5. Nancy Gets Attacked, The Shallows. When you spot seagulls fleeing a meal, it's time to run. Nancy is trying to get away from her troubles by taking a surf trip to Mexico when trouble decides to find her. Spotting a whale carcass in the water, Nancy decides to call it a day and rides a wave back to shore. Unfortunately, she's knocked into coral after a shark hits her and then bites her leg. After swimming back to the dead whale to get out of the water, she thinks she's safe and almost manages to call for help, but the shark completely upends the creature and sends her swimming in an absolutely terrifying moment. Number 4. First Blood, Shark Night. At a lake, the last thing you'd expect to find is a shark, and that's what makes this particular kill so scary. While there are some crazy deaths, like a shark's aerial chomp at a jet skier later on, it's the unexpected first kill that sends shivers down our spines the most.
What are you doing? Let me down, let me down.
After some college students decide to hit the lake and are completely unaware that sharks have been let into the water, one of the swimmers is left on her own. Then a jarring cut reveals she's being attacked from below. Jerking back and forth, she almost gets on the dock but is instead pulled screaming to her grave. Number 3. Quint's Final Voyage, Jaws. A shark that can shake a boat is one thing, but one that can sink a boat is a new level of terror. Out on the water, Brody and Quint can't seem to keep up with where their sharp-toothed adversary has gone and find nothing but calm waters. But just as they let their cage down, the shark jumps out, taking their boat's rear end and tipping the whole ship towards its mouth. With his hand injured by rolling debris, Quint is helpless as he slides right into the beast's mouth, losing his leg and then his life to its fury. Number 2. Exposed, Open Water. Getting stranded while diving in the middle of the ocean is terrifying enough, and having a shark circle while this happens you will be the icing on top. This film tells the story of Daniel and Susan being left behind when they stray from their scuba crew on a relaxing vacation. Unsure if rescue will ever come, they have to fight the elements, their bodies, and even each other in their attempt to survive. Though all this is already frightening, they're soon attacked by a shark while having nothing but open water for miles around them.
Are you okay? Are you
I don't know.
While Susan escapes with only a little nick, the circling shark takes a big bite from Daniel's leg, and he bleeds so much that it sends him into shock.
My leg is still there, right? Yeah, I can feel it.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Bad time for a swim. Jaws. Say goodbye to relaxing swims after this nightmare fuel. Chrissy invites a friend for a flirtatious night swim, running with them along the shore as they both take their clothes off for a dip.
Where are we going?
Swimming!
After some jokes and a serenely peaceful splash around, something pulls on Chrissy's foot, sending her into a full panic before it drags her around the water. Screaming for help as her friend passes out in a drunken stupor, she's thrown against the buoy before finally going under. There's something about the sudden silence that ends the attack, makes it just as horrific and disturbing as the shrieks throughout it. Which of these shark attack sequences scared you the most? Let us know in the comments section.
Wait, it's okay, just don't